Hi everyone, welcome to our Supanova vlog in Sydney 2026. In this video I will be commentating as there was a lot of background noise while recording and my voice was fighting back a cold. This vlog will only cover the Saturday we attended and what we got up to. So let's look back at what went down at Sydney Supanova this year. So upon arrival, there was already a massive queue. It didn't take too long for us to get our passes, and sooner or later, we eventually got inside. Our first order of plan was to get to the very end of the venue. Knowing how big and massive this convention was going to be, we figured we'd start from the back and just zigzag our way through. As you can clearly see, it was held in the big massive dome at Sydney Olympic Park. This Supanova event has been running for many years now and it's super popular, so they really make good use of the space. Every year there's like tons of vendors and it changes every year, so there's lots and lots of varieties of stuff that was sold here that day. So you can see here that as we were entering inside, we went all the way to the very back of the venue, because first things first, we had a few things that we needed to do first before we got the time to explore. So just zigzagging our way through, and it was a good chance to sort of browse around as the crowds are slowly starting to come inside. So here we were at the very end where we lined up to get some signatures. You can get autographs and photos taken with some of the celebrity guests that appeared at Supanova this year. Some lines were longer than others depending on how big the guests were, but in this case I was lining up for none other than Veronica Taylor from the original Pokemon anime series. Thankfully when we arrived we didn't have to wait too long, maybe roughly 30 minutes max, and I had 2 cards ready to go to be signed. So one was Ash's Pikachu and the card from the original first movie. And meeting Veronica was such a treat to meet. She was so nice and friendly and very sweet to have signed the cards for us. We thought we'd get a little bite to eat before we explore the venue, so we went to this cookie vendor stand where we picked up 2 Biscoff flavoured cookie and brownie from New York style thick cookies. My partner tried the brownie. It was quite thick in texture, but the flavour was still rich and sweet. And I bought the cookie, which in our opinion was actually the much more preferred choice. It was a soft cookie. And of course, first things first, in every convention, we had to check out the variety of trading card vendors. As you know, in our last video, we love trading cards. So Supanova definitely had a lot of vendors that were selling trading cards this year. In this particular one, we basically did a lucky dip, and whatever card we pull corresponded with the prize that we won. In both our cases, we won a booster pack and a full art card, which is pretty cool. Make it more of an interactive experience to really get some really nice trading cards. As we eventually moved along, there were plenty of vendors that were selling all kinds of trading cards. As expected with Pokemon's 30th anniversary of this year, there were so many Pokemon cards and all different types of items that were selling Pokemon trading card related items. These vendor stands were perhaps some of the busiest that we went to at Supanova this year. Some were well organized in their binders, and definitely aside from trading cards, binders were also on sale too. Some that we were very familiar with from previous trading card shows, but definitely lots of trading cards at Supanova. The next item were the pop vinyls. They were everywhere and they're the hit item in Supanova. As expected, there's all these different kinds of popular characters designed in pop vinyls, from TV shows to anime to musical artists, film characters, movie stars, even sporting stars too. I'm not a big collector when it comes to pop vinyls, but it's good to know that there is a market out there that is still growing and there is an appeal to them. And the display of these pop vinyls, they're just amazing to look at. Another interesting item we saw were popular in Supanova were the plushies. So many Pokemon plushies. They were everywhere, and definitely the color were popping out this year. Lots of cute Pokemon plushies from Japan. They were the hit. Some other were also handmade plushies and cute little keychains, dolls that were handmade. Lots of adorable little creatures here and there. Really sort of more appealing to the younger kids, but there's always something for the adults too. So you got your massive like toy plushies to even like your generic Pokemon plushies as well. We further explored more of Sydney Supanova, and there was lots of really cool items and lots of interesting stalls that was selling a variety of different items. So this particular stand here was green matcha tea celebrating Pokemon. Pretty cool little statues there, nice little touches to give each vendor store a great unique design. Speaking of designs, there are lots of amazing artwork by incredible artists. So like posters, hand-drawn, made, animated, styled artwork that you can take home with you. Very beautifully done. You could just stare at them for hours. And if you didn't want the artwork, there were things from handbags to signs and statues that were really cool, authentically made. There were also lots of live performances throughout the day. We didn't stick around for many of them, but it was cool to see a stage for these performers to, sing live. It was already lunchtime by the time we explored a lot, so there were a lot of food stalls outside, and it gives us a bit of good breathing space from the chaos that was inside Sydney Supanova venues. So we eventually had to line up, and there were lots and lots of foods to choose from. This particular one sold like Japanese ramen, and this vendor was quite the sellout.
Excellent. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh! One more. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Adjustable one more. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Thank you so much.
After we got our lunch, we eventually went back inside the venue. But along the way, we would not be stopped by the many cosplayers that were out in town. Very impressed with the variety of costumes and characters that were there. Most costumes were either handmade or purchased or just put together themselves. Really shows the dedication and passion of these fans at these conventions. It just brings a lot of character into the atmosphere. So much fun. This statue from K-pop Demon Hunters was definitely a photo opportunity not to be missed. After several attempts, we eventually got our photo taken. It was very crowded that day. This M&M stand was also very popular, where we did this very fun dance video interacting with an M&M character. I think we did the best we could, just dancing our minds out. And obviously you got these like statues and figurines from famous films, anime, TV shows. I'm a big collector on figurines, and they're just so cool to have them displayed in these glass cabinets. So beautifully detailed and wonderfully articulated as well. Very expensive prices, but if you're a massive collector of said movie or a particular TV show, they're definitely worth part of your collection as well. They're really cool to look at. And eventually, as we explored through into the venue, there were lots of other items that were sold there too, from phone cases to purses to gaming items, particularly very old gaming items as well. So like sealed game consoles from back in the day. It felt like we were in a museum just reimagining our childhood. And then you got your toys from your other famous franchises, from The Simpsons to South Park. I mean, the catalogue was endless. There was always something to look at and do. lots of funny interactions with all the types of merch and toys that were up on the market. There's always something for everyone, and there's always something fun to do. So depending on your taste and interest, there's always seems to be something there, from Disney to Marvel to all the really obscure stuff too. There's always something to look at. I mean, like, we ran into so many vendors and stalls. We tried to make sure we looked at everything possible. Despite the crowd, we managed to find a lot of great items. This Lego stand was probably one of the most impressive. So all these beautiful displays, all made from Lego. Pretty impressive. I could just go through these all day. Thankfully, Sydney Supanova is well spaced out at Sydney Olympic Park, and there were 2 separate halls. So this second hall, which is dedicated to all of the artists, and they had all these multiple vendors and stalls where everybody who had designed their own artwork, wrote their own books, or created their own items are all on display here. And there were endless tables of variety of items. I mean, just look at all this, the color and the design of these, a variety of items. It's just so beautiful to look at, and I wish I could buy all of these, but knowing that I was on a tight budget, I just basically had to walk through and admire them. Then there was a corner dedicated to Star Wars. You got all the cosplayers, and you've got communities where you can join a community full of Star Wars fan and really just embrace the Star Wars fandom. And as a fan of Star Wars myself, it was actually pretty cool seeing these characters to life and really interact with you. And they were a great community of people. So we're doing one more final round in the venue, just really looking at other items, including comic books, other toys, other merch, and even clothing as well. There were some that were actually designed by multiple artists that have designed their own t-shirts and jackets and pants and hats, and quite a variety of lots of clothing items that are dedicated to a particular TV show or film. So whatever particular thing you're a fan of, you're probably most likely going to find them amongst here. So Pokemon was surprisingly popular, but you got your comic book and film that were also adapted in there too. So as we were moving along, we basically tried to make the most of it by really admiring all the vendors and the variety of stuff that were installed in Supanova. And of course, we definitely had to make sure we interacted with as many cosplayers as possible, and there were so many on display here. It did take a while to take a couple of photos and interact with a few of them, but thankfully most of them were very friendly, and they were awesome to take the time to take a photo with us and even interact with them for a bit of fun. It just shows the spirit and the community of how amazing these people are at Sydney Supanova. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was short and brief, but we'll see you at the next convention. And until then, like and subscribe. Bye!